Hello and welcome to Designing Shoes Part 5. Before we begin with Part 5, a quick error correction. In Part 4 I drew this corner of the vamp as going through this K point. It does not go through that point, it goes through this K2 point, and I've just fixed that, which is one of the advantages of using Inkscape. I'm going to pick up where we left off last time in Part 4. As you recall, I've drawn the vamp in red here, and now I need to draw the quarters. Well, to draw the quarters I need a few more guides, or a couple more guides than are actually shown in the pattern generator. So first of all, I need a guide to do the lace openings. So I'm going to go to my pen tool and just click here and click here, and then right click to end that. This is just an offset for the opening of the laces here. I'll go ahead and just change that to green, and I'll go Control Shift F to get up my stroke style and change that to a dotted line. These are all just conveniences to make it a little easier to visualize these things. So if I zoom in on that, that's what you see. Okay, the other guide that I need is we'll need an offset for the overlap here. So this is the edge of the vamp, and the quarter is going to overlap it here, and I want it to be a consistent line there, that are consistent distance, and we're going to do a 1 centimeter overlap. So to do that, I'm going to again take my pen tool and just draw a line that's sort of half a centimeter. I'm just guessing here, doesn't matter at this point. Okay. Then I'm going to use my node tool to initially just curve that out a little bit. Oops. Wrong tool. All right. Now I'm going to go over to my stroke style here again, and I'm going to change that. It's already at centimeters, and I'm going to change it to 1 centimeter, and you get this big fat line. And I'm going to take the opacity of that down, so it's just a shadow. That's all I need there. Even less. And then I'm going to continue to move that until it's where I want it. Can also, again, make these nodes symmetric here. I use that a lot. Just makes for curving to go a little easier. I'm just sort of grabbing in the middle here. Sometimes I grab the handles, sometimes I just grab in the middle. You get a feel for how these things work after a while, or I should say you get a little better at it. I'm still not sure I entirely understand how it works, but it works. So now I have a couple of guides, and I'm going to zoom out here and draw my quarter. So I'm just going to zoom right in on this area here. I'm going to get my pen tool. I'm going to start right here at the bottom and start following my outside of this curve. So it's a 1 centimeter offset. There's going to be a corner right there. And notice how I'm doing triangles at these corners here. I'll explain that in a minute. Right here is going to be my ankle height, and then on up to C1, back of my heel, down to H, down to R, and then back to the beginning again. So let's go ahead and make this blue. Shift click, and we got blue. Now I'm going to get my node tool. Notice how I've jumped this corner here. That's because I want to make that a curve. So you don't want to put a node right at the top of your curve. You want to put it on either side of your curve. That makes it pretty easy to... So this one's a little too close. I'm going to move it away so that I can get the curve that I like. All right, and then we're going to bring these lines in closer to our offset. And then here I'm going to make this symmetric. Make this symmetric. And that's pretty good. Put another node there. I like to make that rise up a little bit right there. All right. So again, this distance here between this line and here is your ankle height. So if we go Control-Shift-L to bring up our layers dialog, and you have to kind of expand this a little bit. It has sort of an annoying habit of not showing the whole thing. Okay, so again, you can see this is highlighted. That means that I've drawn this quarter on my generator pattern. I want to add a new layer, so I'm going to add a new layer and call it quarter. Okay, right there. Going to go over and go to my arrow selection tool, make sure that's selected, and go layer, move selection to layer above. I need to do that twice. And now it's up in the quarter layer. So if I turn off the other layers, there's my quarter. You see we have a little more to do here. Can almost do this without the pattern, but I'll go ahead and do it with the pattern. My node, do it without the pattern, I mean. There we go. Then I can just bring my pattern back up to see. Okay, so if we add the vamp here, you begin to see this taking shape. And let's see, down in our pattern, we still have our offset there. We want to move that up. So I'm going to select that, and again go layer, move to layer above. So now when I turn this off, notice it's now on the vamp layer and not on the quarter layer. I actually want it on both. So I'm going to select that. Control D means duplicate. And then I'm going to say layer, move selection to layer above. So now I have that on both layers. So when I print these individual pieces out, which is the ultimate plan, it'll have the offset on both of them. And that's the end of part 5. Thank you.